Hi everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my channel. Today I'm giving you a new quarterly TBR. I honestly do not remember how I did my first quarterly TBR of the year, but what I am going to be doing is I'm going to start with the readathons, go on for the next 3 months, and then the dedicated vlogs I'm planning on doing, and then the whatever books or project I'm trying to do, and then every rollover books or books that I really want to get to by the end. For now, I'm at 8 books at this time of the year, which means I'm 1 book away from hitting my medium mode goal, which is not bad. I'm really happy with that. And I'm 2 books ahead of my easy mode goal. So that's good. We're on the right track. I think the best reading months are to come that are probably going to be during the summertime, where I have more downtime and more time to myself to read and do stuff. But I am still very busy during the summer. I do try to make the most of it, but I'll definitely have way much more time to read during that time. So yeah, I am also back on top of things, so I should be able to read a little bit more. I am really aiming at 3 books per month, hopefully 4, but if I manage 3, I'll be really happy with that. Also, hinting ahead, this next quarter is quite a busy one because there's Orilium in April. May is my son's birthday month, my birthday month. In April, there's also the BookCon that is coming up very soon. And then I do have in April a craft fair. I have another one in May. And I have a lot of drama plays that are going on with my students. And then in June, it's the end of the school year. So it's the big rush of the end of the school year. It's also the tryouts for cheerleading. So there's a lot going on in the next quarter. So I'll just have to go with whatever I'm able to read. So the first readathon that I participate in every month is the Buzzword Readathon. If you are interested in any of the readathons, I'll put the links in the description so you can go ahead and watch them yourself and see what they are all about. The Buzzword was created by Kayla from Books and Lala, and it is basically 1 prompt per month. So you just have to read a book with that word or type of word in the title of the book. So as of right now, I still have my January prompt and my March prompt to roll over into the next quarter. So for January, it is to read a book with the word before or after in the title. For that one, I picked Tokyo Ever After. For March, it is to read a book with the word this, that, these, or those in the title. For that one, I chose That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human, I think, which is book number 3 of that series. For April, it is to read a book with an ordinal number in the title. That one really got me thinking of books and looking through lists of books because I had no idea what to pick. I already read the 5th season. I wasn't in the mood to reread the 5th season. I do have books that are currently on my shelves that I've already read that would fit the prompt, but I've read them already. So I looked and found in my want to read list on Goodreads, which is pretty much a list that I use when I see booktubers recommend books and I am interested in them. I will go ahead on Goodreads and try to add them to that want to read list. So I just made a quick search with like first, second, blah, blah, blah. And one of the books that came up was A Phoenix First Must Burn. I do not remember who recommended that book, but it looks cool. So we're gonna go with that one. I have no idea what it is about. It's gonna be a fun surprise. For May, the prompt is to read a book with making, maker in the title. I have no idea what I'm gonna be reading for May. I haven't searched that far ahead, so I'll be keeping that in mind. If you do have recommendations though, put them in the comments. I would love to get recs. And finally, for the prompt of June, it is to read a book with a one-word title. For that one, I think I do have a couple of those. I'll have to go and check my list of books that I own. I mean, I do have some, but they're already on my TBR. So I don't know. I probably have some on my reader, but I'll have to check that later. Anyways, I don't know just yet. Again, if you have any recs, you can write them down in the comments, but I'm not worried that I'll be able to find a book for that prompt easily. Next, I'm also participating in the Year in Elja Readathon, which is the side quest to the Orilium Readathon. So it's basically a map where you choose the path that you follow throughout the year. And you have one prompt per year. And since it is a path on a map, you have to read them in order. You cannot just skip months and come back, which makes no sense in a pathway. Because with the buzzword, I do tend to go back and forth depending on what I'm in the mood to read. As long as I finished reading them by the end of the year, I don't mind. But for this one, you can't do that. So I have to read them in order. And for that readathon, so far, I've only read the first prompt, which was from January. And I have to roll over February and March. So for February, the prompt was to read a book from your bottom right shelf. And if you know me, you know that there are no unread books on my shelves. I only have this TBR card, and that pile is getting lower and lower. Honestly, I don't have a lot of unread books in physically. I do have quite a bit on my reader, but physically I have less and less. I did pick a book that was on the lower right part of my cart, and that one is Lair of Dreams. But I cannot read Lair of Dreams because I have not finished my reread of the Diviners. So there's that. For the month of March, it is to read a book with food on the cover. For that one, I went with the Southern's Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires. Is that it? I always get so mixed up with that title. Anyways, that one. Yeah, I don't own it. I cannot read it till I finish reading Lair of Dreams. So yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to get to it, but it is what it is. The prompt for April is to read a book with the word river in the title. For that one, I'm going with River of Silver, which is, I think, the prequel or the epilogue. I don't know, but it is part of the Daevabad trilogy. I haven't read Empire of Gold just yet. And I do want to do a reread of the first two books in order to do actually a full dedicated vlog to the Daevabad books. I'm so excited. I love Shannon Chakraborty so much. I love these books so deeply, and I cannot wait to reread them. But by the time I get to the prompt of April, I'll have time to reread all of these books to get to River of Silver, because from what I understand, I have to finish Empire of Gold in order to get to that one, even if it is a novella. But yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get to Lair of Dreams, so I have time. I'm not too worried. It probably won't be for the next quarter, but we'll see. The prompt for the month of May is to read a book with a dream or sleep in the title. I have to be honest, I am very tempted to read Strange the Dreamer, which is one of my favorite books ever. And I haven't reread it for a very, very long time, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm actually going to be picking that one up. I might pick something else up, but I don't know. I'm keeping this one in mind. And the prompt for June is to read a book that is a weird, odd, unusual book recommendation. I'll probably use the Discord to ask for that prompt, but since I'm not very close to getting to that prompt. I'm not gonna take care of that just yet. If you have any of those recs, you can write them down in the comments. I would love to have those recs already lined up, but I'm definitely not gonna be getting to that prompt just yet. So next, we have the wrapped books. So every new book that I buy physically that go on my TBR cart that are not sequels, I wrap them up and put them randomly in my TBR cart. So the first top shelf of this TBR cart, I have my actual TBR that is there, books I've started to read at least. And then the other two bottom shelves are for the wrapped books. Right now, I only have 12 left of those, which is not a lot. I still have a lot of, a bit more unwrapped that I still need to get to, but the list is getting, the number of wrapped books is getting lower and lower. But anyways, my son did pick 3 of those. We are going to open the one for April right now, and the other ones are going to be opened during the bullet journal video for that month, if that makes sense. So he picked 3 in advance. The first one for April is here, which is the one I'm going to be opening in a minute. The one for May is this one, a big thick one. I think I know which one it is. We'll see. He decided to give me a big book for my birthday month. And the one for June is this one. Let's get to the book for April, which is already opening up by itself. So we have, ooh! All right. Bookshops and Bone Dusts, which is book number 2 of Legends and Lattes. I'm always so confused because one of them is a prequel, the other one is the sequel. And I'm always so confused which one is which, and it doesn't say here. I think this is the sequel. No, I think this is the prequel. I don't know. I'm so confused. But I am excited to read it because it is quite easy to go through and it is very cozy. And I remember when I read Legends and Lattes, it was very easy to go through. So really happy with that. Next, we have the dedicated vlogs. So as I've hinted before, I am doing a dedicated vlogs for the Diviners series. I am on my reread of the Diviners, and as you can see, I'm not very far along. So hopefully I can get these books out as quickly as possible. Like, I'm not getting my hopes up too much. As long as I'm done with book number 1 and 2 by the end of this quarter, I would be very, very happy. The next one I'm doing is the Grishaverse dedicated vlog. So all of the books in the Grishaverse. Right now, I'm on Ruin and Rising, which I cannot find. I think it is in my bedroom. But yeah, I'm currently reading Ruin and Rising. And afterwards, I'll be rereading the Six of Crows duology. And then I'm going to be reading for the first time the King of Scars and the Rule of Wolves, I think. The other two, the last duology in this universe. And I'm also going to be watching the series and not necessarily reacting to it, but I will be giving you some thoughts about it in that vlog at the end, if that makes sense. So yeah, it is an easy read to get through, and I do want to get back into the Six of Crows books. I'm excited to finish up the Shadow and Bone trilogy as well, so I should make some good progress in those books. I'm also in the middle of reading the Books of Babel series, which I'm also doing a dedicated vlog. I only finished Ascendant Ascends. I do not own books number 2, 3, or 4. So yeah, I'm gonna have to buy the next books to get to it. But hopefully before June, I'll get to book number 2 at least, which is Arm of the Sphinx, I think. And finally, as I said before, I also want to do a reread of the City of Brass, the Diva Bad trilogy. Well, I've read book number 1 and 2, haven't read Empire of Gold just yet, but I do own it. And I do need to read River of Silver for one of the year in Elja prompt. So I'm going to have to reread books number 1 to read book number 3, which is quite a chunker. As you can see, it is quite a book. It is, oh, not that bad. 752 pages, which isn't as bad as like Robin Hobb books, but like this one is more in the 500 range, so a good 200 pages more. Anyways, I'm not scared of it, but I'm really excited to get back into this universe though. Next, I'm also doing Robin Hobb books. So I've been trying to read them for the last 2 years. I was trying to do like one per month, but these books are so big, like it's hard for me to get through them very, very quickly. I love them to bits. I love them so much. It's one of my favorite fantasy like universe as a whole. The character works in here is unbelievable, but they do take me quite a bit of time to get through. So I've read already the first trilogy, which is Assassin's Apprentice, Royal Assassin, Assassin's Quest. I am finishing the Light Ship Traders, which is Ship of Magic, Mad Ship, and now I'm in the middle of Ship of Destiny. I also own the next trilogy that comes afterwards, which is the Tawny Man trilogy, but like I don't have that much hope that I'm gonna finish all of them. I want to start Fool's Errand by the end of the quarter. I think that's a doable goal, but I've been saying I want to since the beginning of this video, and it's way more than 3 books per month. So honestly, I have no idea how I'm going to manage all of that. And for the month of April, I will be participating in the Orilium Readathon. I have not been able to finish any Orilium Readathon at all since the beginning, I think. Maybe 1 out of the 2 in that same year, I think. But I've never managed to finish it like properly. So I went with the Calling of the Bard because as a music teacher, I could not do it. So I'm trying really, really hard. So for Bard, there are 5 prompts. The first one is Art of Illusion, which is to read a book with an unusual formatting. For that one, I decided to go with Dans une galaxie près de chez vous, Season 1, Volume 2. So this, if you haven't seen me talk about it last year, in April, there's the annual book con that happens here in my city, and I am going to be buying the next volume. This is volume number 1. This was a TV series for teens when I was a teen, and it follows this crew that goes into space to find a new planet Earth for humanity. But it's, yes, there's all that like environment, morale to it, and trying to bring attention to that to the viewers, but it's also an excuse for humor, and it's just so funny. It's hilarious. It's a French-Canadian series, and the books are basically, I think they got them published, I think last year or the year before. Like it's quite recent, and I think there's 2 more books that are published now. But basically, there were 4 seasons and 2 movies, and this is basically the script of the series, and it's perfection, and I love it so much. And like it's all in red because, well, it was always in red, and their uniforms were red, and it was so good and hilarious and funny and amazing and brilliant, and I loved it. I thought it was gonna be easy to read because it is a script, but I kept catching myself reading it with the voices of the actors in my head, and at a couple of moments during this read, I did find myself like catching that it wasn't quite that word that was used in the actual series. And every time I thought that, I was right. because I knew them by heart. I watched them so many times. So yeah, this is a very nostalgic thing for me. So for an unusual format, I thought this was perfect since BookCon is coming up and I'll be able to purchase book number 2. So that's good. And last BookCon, I got to get it signed by one of the actors and also writer. He was an actor and he was also the co-writer to the series. So I got it signed, which is awesome. The second prompt is spells and incantations, and it is to read a book that is currently on a bestseller list. I had a hard time with that one. I had to Google bestseller lists, and I came upon the New York Times bestseller lists page. So they had like multiple bestseller lists, and the first one, which was fiction and I don't know, something in fiction, and I clicked on it to see like all the books in that list, and there was one title that is very popular at the moment that I saw there that I was interested in, so I decided to go with that one, and it is Dungeon Crawler Carl something. That I can never get that title right, but that is the book I'm choosing to go with. I see a lot of people talking about it and having lots of fun with it, so I'm excited. The premise sounds so good and I'm really intrigued. So yeah. The next prompt is inscription, and for that one it is to read a book with a day of the week in the title. For that prompt, I decided to go with the 30s Murder Club. I've been eyeing that book for so long, and I love those kind of mysteries, and seeing how I really enjoyed Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. I really enjoyed that type of thing. I don't think it's going to be the same thing in this book. I've been really into that vibe lately. So the next one is lore, and it is to read a book that is from a dystopian or utopian subgenre. For that one, I decided to go with a rollover book, which was a wrap book from last year, and it is Uglies by Scott Westerfield. This is an older book that I bought a very, very, very long time ago. I don't think it's gonna take me too long to get through it. We'll see. I don't have high expectations about it, so I'm just happy to go through it and finally make up my mind about it and see what it was all about. So, and the last prompt is for restoration, and it was to ask for 5-star recommendations and pick one out of those ones. And thanks to my UK friend Asma, she gave me 5 titles to pick from, and I decided to go with A Number in the Ashes, which is a book I've seen a lot since I've been watching BookTube. And I know it's been very popular when it was out, but it kind of died out. But I'm still very interested to get into it. I'm not interested at all for Sarah J. Maas, but this one, I'm very interested. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that one. And I think that's enough for the next quarter. And then I also have some books that I'm rolling over that I've been trying to finish reading that were wrapped books of last year that I don't want to rewrap. So we've got Made You Up by Francesca Zappia, which should be a very easy to read contemporary YA book. Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber, which was a bonus book I got from Fairy Loot, which has nice little sprayed edges, but I don't like how stiff this book is. I am not gonna enjoy the holding this book while I'm reading it, but The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, book number 3. I haven't read the previous 2 ones, but I am familiar with the stories, so I'm not too worried about that. But the font is so small. I hate that it's so small. But anyways. And I'm also going to be trying to make some progress in The Lord of the Rings, book number 2. I'm now on 2 Towers. It's been a while since I picked this one up, but we're going to have to finish it eventually. But I have 30 books in this TBR, way more than what I can actually manage to read. So I'm not gonna get to all of that, but that's what I'm hoping to get to. Hoping. We'll see what I manage to actually get through. But I'm honestly really excited about the next quarter. There's a lot of good things to come. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the books I'm about to read. And every book in here I'm excited about. Almost. Most of them. I'm really excited about them. And I really want to read. It's just sometimes my body cannot cope with doing so many things and just falls asleep and is just so tired because I'm not 20 years old anymore. So there's that. Let me know if you're participating in any of these readathon. You can share your own TBR video, your own TBR in the comments if you wish. Let me know. I would love to see what you picked. Like, comment, subscribe if you wish. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you soon in the next one.